I just want to do a quickie today on grifting so it isn't a million years until I release a new video, and hopefully this won't be super long. But you need to know exactly what grifting is to be able to identify them, and you need to know that grifting is in no way unique to the left or the right. It is more common on the left. It is still quite common on the right. Grifter isn't a really good partisan gotcha because there's grifters everywhere. But first, what is a grift? Okay, a grift is a form of confidence game, or a con, otherwise known as an attempt to defraud somebody. And so, core in that word fraud is deception and lying. So, when, like, who are some commonly accounted grifters? Take, let's say, Keemstar. Keemstar is not a grifter, Keemstar is an exploitation artist. Those are two very different things. Keemstar is not misrepresenting himself to you. In fact, that's probably why a lot of people don't like him, because he's kind of an asshole. Whatever, it's part of his personality, it's his persona. How about the Quartering? Jeremy from the Quartering, a guy I don't like to watch that much. But why do I not like to watch him? Do I think he's a grifter? No. No, I think he's honest about his wishy-washy opinions on things. I just don't like wishy-washy opinions. Is he a grifter because he piggybacks off of breaking news stories and just basically kind of reiterates the news? No. That's also not why Tim Pool might be called a grifter. I'd be more inclined to call Tim Pool a grifter because I believe he sells a persona to his audience that is not him. It's not actually his convictions or principles. I think they've changed in a positive direction somewhat since like 2014, since I first heard of the asshole. But do I think he's an intelligent or reasoned or interesting commentator? No. Do I think he's a liar? Maybe. So that's closer. A good example of a real grift, where an organization is lying to you and misrepresenting what they are in an attempt to take money from you and put it into a process that you do not approve of. I would chiefly mention a company that I mentioned somewhat back in 2020, and I feel like mentioning again, and that's called the Black Rifle Coffee Company. I got in an argument with somebody I know online about them, and he said that he's fine with supporting them again because they apologized for their treatment of Kyle Rittenhouse. First of all, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. They tried to explain it away and chalked it up to like an ignorance of facts and an emerging news story or whatever. No. Okay, I will tell you exactly why. And this is really dangerous for me to do this, but I will tell you exactly why Black Rifle Coffee Company was vehemently anti-Kyle Rittenhouse. And there's two reasons. Okay, the first reason is Black Rifle Coffee Company is a lying grifting organization that misrepresents itself as a pro-2A, pro-self-defense, and conservative agency. They are none of the above and have repeatedly demonstrated on paper an undeniable fact that they are none of the above. Are they anti-2A? No, they donate directly to gun control platforms, which is counter to their brand. Okay? Are they pro-Second Amendment? I guess they all own guns, but do they want you to be able to use your guns in a legal way under the Second Amendment? No, because they're anti-self-defense. And why are they anti-self-defense? Because they called Kyle Rittenhouse a terrorist murderer. And why did they do that? Well, this is speculation. I cannot state this second example as fact, but I believe that it is very legitimate evidence why Black Rifle Coffee Company is extremely untrustworthy and absolutely a grifting con artist organization. Are you ready? Every single year, I've at least looked up records back through 2018, through the Kyle Rittenhouse year, 2020, all the way up to records of 2022. And in at least the states that Black Rifle Coffee Company is incorporated in. So I've got like Illinois and Texas here, especially Texas. Texans, you don't mess with Texas, conservative fucking rednecks. Listen up closely why you should not support this company. They donated multiple times multiple years, so multiple times per year in multiple years, to Act Blue, which is one of the most radical far left Democrat super PACs in existence. You might as well be donating directly to AIPAC, okay? If you're fucking gonna be this anti-American, anti-Second Amendment, anti-citizen, anti-fucking human rights, all the above. And here's my actual speculation. The CEOs and board of Black Rifle Coffee Company are majority Jewish. Here's something that a lot of people don't know about Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse shot and killed one Jew, the bald guy who said, "Shoot me, nigga," in self-defense. I forget the name of the second kid who struck him with a skateboard, so that's assault with a deadly weapon. That kid was an Ashkenazi Jew. Gage Grosskreutz, who he shot and wounded, was an Ashkenazi Jew. Assistant District Attorney Binger of Kenosha, Wisconsin, is an Ashkenazi Jew. Jerry Nadler, who tried to insist to Congress to press federal terrorism charges under the Patriot Act against Kyle Rittenhouse, is an Ashkenazi Jew. CEO Black Rifle Coffee Company is at least Jewish. I'm not entirely sure which variation. There is a pattern here. Is that pattern relevant? You be the judge, because I can't say for sure that it is. I just am convinced that it is. So, why would a company that donates to super PAC that funds mass migration, it funds anti-2A initiatives, it funds anti-voter ID law shit, it funds pro-welfare shit, it funds wealth distribution, it funds DEI and woke stuff in schools. Okay, Act Blue is about as bad as it gets. And Black Rifle Coffee Company has donated over $100,000 to this organization. That's what a grifter is, okay? That's what a con is. You should be looking for this, okay? And it does exist in some of the most, like, nakedly, like, when you look at it at face value, judge the book by its cover, you got chicks with big tits, scantily clad, very tanned, hairy men with muscles running around with guns, blowing up tannerite, and you think, yeehaw, this is American, and they want to sell you a product so that they can support the veterans. Meanwhile, they're funding one of the most pro-war, pro-America, Team America World Police, pro-intervention, again, organizations in politics. The Democratic Party through Act Blue, okay? These are the people who are very, very pro-us going to Ukraine and then getting into Iran and intervening on behalf of Israel in the Middle East and all of that shit. All of that shit that is just absolutely anti-right-wing. And they take your money when you buy their shitty coffee and you watch their shitty YouTube videos and donate it to your direct enemy. In what way is it reasonable to support an organization like that, which funds your enemy and pretends to be your friend, and then backstabs you when the cards are on the line and says horribly untrue, even defamatory shit to Kyle Rittenhouse? You know, issued legal threats to him for wearing their merch. Which, by the way, could you imagine if you were actually a pro-2A conservative organization? Could you imagine better free viral marketing and advertising than having one of the most famous and or infamous people in the entire fucking country, if not the world currently at that time, Kyle Rittenhouse, wearing your merch? And you send a cease and desist and threaten a lawsuit against a child for doing that? While that kid was wearing that shit, answering interviews for conservative pundits and right-wing news media outlets. And how does that make any sense? Guess what? It doesn't. Guess what? That's a grifter. That's a confidence artist. That is a fraudster. Okay, that's what Black Rifle Coffee Company is. Now, I do have to specify for legal reasons. When I'm calling them fraudsters, have they violated U.S. legal code? No. You are allowed, at least in this particular fashion, to lie directly to your consumers and misrepresent yourself and your company ethos to them. That's legal. Okay? They didn't actually do any criminal activity. What is criminal, in a facetious way of putting it, is the fact that any right-wing, conservative, patriotic American ever gives 1 red cent or 1 second of watch time to their content and merchandise. You're fucking stupid. Stop being a mark. What is a mark? It is the targeted victim of a criminal fraudster or confidence artist. Stop being a mark, okay?